against the world against us, baby. So I guess I'm so.
Ciao, buongiorno ragazzi, and thank you for tuning into the Worldwide Podcast. We are recording this on a very rainy Sunday morning here in Sydney, but I don't know what's going on elsewhere. So what up, Mario? What's going on? Where are you? Talk to me.
What's going on? Here in New York, it's humid as shit.
Absolutely. And the man, the realist, Christian Rivas. How you doing, brother? Good to have you back.
Yeah, it's hot and humid and muggy in DC too, Mario. So I feel you. It's 99 out here.
It seems to be
Fahrenheit.
Seems to be 99 in the media as well these days, ragazzi. Like Inter all day, every damn day. Something new every couple of hours. Something new reported from all these so-called respectable outlets. I'm having a hard time keeping up. So overall, let's just have a little quick chat and debunk your overall feelings of the media and the Mercato. Christian Rivas, you struggling to keep up, man?
No, I'm just kind of heartbroken right now, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. We're going to get to why you're upset. I'm a little bit upset. I don't know how Mario feels, but Mario, overall, you keeping up with these news headlines okay, or you kind of just turning a blank eye here and there?
I don't believe anything until it's official on Inter.it. Until then, I kind of just, take it with a grain of salt. But, when I hear people don't want certain people, then I start to get excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go straight into the main headlines that's making all the waves at the moment. Pepe Marotta, after weeks of silence, has been interviewed this morning, and he said that there are two particular players that are not in Antonio Conte's plans. One of them will not surprise the fans. It's Mauro Icardi. The second one is a player which most fans, including myself and my other two guests, really had higher hopes for, and that's Radja. So after a couple of different media outlets reporting that Conte didn't want Nainggolan or that Nainggolan wanted a second chance and expected to get it, it looks like Marotta this morning has said that he is not in the plans. I want Christian Rivas' reaction to this particular news. Off you go, buddy.
I mean, I wanted Nadja to stay, Radja, yeah.
It hurts, man. It hurts. I know.
But in the same sense, he did pull some fuckery last season with that whole phone call that was recorded. So I kind of sit back and I'm like, all right, Marotta, I'm glad you're not fucking playing that bullshit. It's like, dude, you fucked up and you fucked up big and that's it. We don't need players that hearts aren't fully here. Even if you're saying you want another opportunity, at the end of the day, your heart's not there.
Well, it doesn't look like we've received any offers for him yet, so they're maintaining the belief that if the right offer comes along, we will replace him. And I'd have to agree with that and echo what Christian said. Marotta seems like a boss. He's made his decisions from day one based on a certain metric and a certain scale of how he's going to run this club. And there needs to be 100% commitment and desire from everyone involved. And if there's been enough red flags next to Radja's name last season, I guess not many fans can complain, providing that we get the adequate replacement. Mario, what's your thoughts on Bepe's latest comments on Radja, and where do you think it's going to go?
I find the angle that they're taking to be constructive rather than problematic, because it's basically created a culture that you can't just do what the fuck you want anymore. Like last season, everybody tried to do whatever the fuck they want. Icardi played when he wanted. Radja Nainggolan said whatever he wanted. He talked all his shit. And even today, which right after they announced that they want to sell him, he just goes and comes and says, like, without me, you would have been in Europa League. Which I was just like, whoa, let's all take a timeout. You played like 6 games, my guy. So it's kind of just like he's either gonna get sold or he's gonna give him a big reality check.
Yeah, so if it does get to the point where we get to the end of the Mercato and Radja does stay, at least there'll be a boot up his ass saying you better work every single day. If this is the tactic from Marotta, then, fair play to it. But me personally, I'll be extremely disappointed. Getting only one season of Radja Nainggolan at 60% fitness, it will honestly feel like to me that we never signed him at all, which is a horrible thing to say considering that all of the goals he scored last year were actually very, very important goals. He had 2 match-winning goals. He had the strike against Juventus that earned us the point there. Like, at the end of the day, we saw glimpses of Radja's talent and Radja's potential. And it's hard to use the word potential when he's about to turn 31 years old, but he's definitely still that level of midfielder that's above the class of Vecino, Valero, Gagliardini. So what we'd really hope for, boys, is that Marotta knows what he's doing, see, Vero, and that he's got a replacement set up well. In terms of replacing Radja Nainggolan, for me, it can't be one of our existing players. If Conte thinks that Vecino and Gagliardini are going to be implemented into the 3-5-2, I'll be very iffy about it. Christian Rivas, if we do get rid of Radja Nainggolan, who is going to need a very, very good replacement, who's it going to be and who will satisfy you, bro?
Savage.
He said it.
I'll say it again. Savage.
Yeah.
We need a Savage in the midfield, and why not go get the Savage himself? Milinkovic, Savage.
Yep. He would solve a lot of issues, man. He's got the Radja Nainggolan tenacity. He's got the Roberto Gagliardini physicality and build. He's got the legs that run like Vecino. He's got the distribution like Brozovic. And he's got the creativity of somebody more advanced. Milinkovic-Savic is a complete Serie A midfielder. He's definitely not worth the triple-figure price tag Lotito put on him 12 months ago. But perhaps
I will give 100 mil for that man.
But perhaps now with Lazio's not so fantastic season last season, the fact that we did see shortcomings in his game, he's not the midfielder that can carry an entire 10 other men. But in a system under Conte, this guy can absolutely bloody thrive. Would you agree, Mario?
100%. I'd even like to see if they could include what's his name, Luis Alberto also. Why not?
That's a dream.
But with Marotta, anything's possible at this point. Just gotta see where it goes. Maybe he'll sell Icardi for them. What do we know?
Listen. I will give Gagliardini 70 mil, my left nut with Mario's right nut, or Savage.
That's my good nut.
I know it's a good one. That's why I said you're right one.
Man, there's been talks that this is the worst headline of them all, boys, man. Like this was the really bad off-stale cherry on top of the shit cake, is that Nemanja Matic is rumored to be coming in for Nainggolan. Not only that, apparently they value him higher and that we're going to have to put some extra money in. Man, Rivas, please tell me you're on my side with this. Nemanja Matic can be nowhere near this new Inter side.
Matic is some shit. I don't get why we're tied to him. Like, no, for real. I think shit would be an improvement. This dude is horrible.
He's done. He had a couple of good years. He works hard. He's tough in the midfield. If he's got one of the best creative defensive playing midfielders with Conte by his side. But as you've seen at Manchester United, you can't even insert a Paul Pogba next to Nemanja Matic to make him look good.
Yeah, he sucks. I don't know. I don't get what they see in him. Like I said, there's only Savage for me, dude. If we're getting rid of Radja, that's the only player to go after because we need a complete midfielder. That right there alone will solve all our problems.
Well, yeah, especially if Barella's the other one coming in. You're talking of a Barella SMS upgrade. That's an absolute huge upgrade to what we were used to. Mario, talk to us, man. Is Milinkovic-Savic the only one? Do you have anyone else in mind?
I mean, I don't really know. I've been trying to think of like who would fit into our midfield, and like obviously there's the Barellas. Now we got Sensi the other day, but Matic, I don't really hate him that much. I mean, is he the greatest?
He sucks.
I don't think he sucks as bad as you guys think he does. I feel like everyone in the United squad right now is kind of like it's almost like a void because like they're all just shit together. Because didn't Conte use Matic a lot at Chelsea?
I'm
I can't remember. I was trying to look for it because I know either he brought him in or he like used him a lot.
He definitely didn't bring him in. Matic was a Mourinho player to start, but keep going. I'm looking it up as we speak.
But even so, like if Mourinho wanted him, he saw something. Obviously, Mourinho he doesn't pick up anybody, especially with the teams that he's had.
I got this here from a fair few articles via the Independent, Soccernet, ESPN, Talksport, and beIN in 2017. Chelsea manager Antonio Conte has suggested that Nemanja Matic was sold to Manchester United against his wishes. United completed signing for 40 million, but it was pretty well documented that both Jose Mourinho and Conte wanted Nemanja Matic. So there you go.
There you go. Problem solved. No, because if Conte and Mourinho see something, these are the top two coaches in the world. I don't care how much you hate them, how much you don't like Matic at United right now. They see something and they feel like they can mold this player into what they want. And Savic, I feel like England might not have been the best fit for him because it's not for everyone, obviously. But if some players go to England, fail, come to Italy and star, like Gervinho, freaking, like other people. I'm sure I can't even think off the top of my head, but it's just not unlikely for him to come here, instantly become a stud. So Matic, okay in my book.
Well, it would definitely depend on the other two midfielders that are there to complement them. Like we all saw last season, let's get one thing straight. We know what Vecino and Gagliardini's qualities are. We know what they can bring to a team, and we know that they're not horrible players. We also know that when they're in, we also know, exactly, that when they're inserted into a double pivot midfield in a 2-3, the way Spalletti was playing, it's just not going to happen. You need Marcelo Brozovic to play at a prime Luka Modric, Iniesta level, just to make sure that we can get through the game properly. They are limited, but we'll just have to see what happens next season. But we're definitely going to stay on the midfield topic for a second, because the Nicola Barella rumors are just, they have been chopping and changing every single day. But I've always maintained the belief that we've had this tied down for a long time. We did a couple of videos and a podcast back in January where he ultimately told Chelsea, don't even bring an offer over to Italy. He told Napoli, I don't even want to see your offer. And then we've had the whole Milan issue where he turned them away. And then Roma, the whole Roma thing was BS, complete BS. They were never in for him to begin with at the start. So I'm personally really looking forward to Nicola Barella being tied down and signing within the next week. Rivas, are you as excited as I am? And how big do you think Barella's impact is going to be into next season, considering how many other clubs he's just told to basically screw off? I want to play for Inter.
So I personally didn't think we would get Barella just because of how many people were after him. So I'm hyped as fuck that we're going to get him.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty excited to see what he's going to do, because he's the type of player we need with Brozovic in the midfield. The amount of distance this guy covers, man, ridiculous. Him and Brozovic were what, 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken, the most distance covered for midfielders?
Correct.
That just alone right there tells you what type of player we're going to get. And the type of system Conte is going to run, these two guys are going to kill it.
Yeah. So I'm going to butt in, does that make you think that maybe the third man in the midfield can be a Vecino or a Gagliardini?
So in my opinion, the problem with that is that Barella and Brozovic are going to be playing a little deeper. So you can't have all three midfielders play deep.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because Vecino and Gagliardini like to play a little deeper too. Yeah, Vecino could play up a little higher, but that's not the player you want up there. You want someone like Savic up there that's going to be banging in goals, that's going to be kicking it from outside the box. That, we need players with that type of creativity and that type of profile. They'll be playing higher up the pitch. If it's not going to be Ninja, it's got to be somebody of an equal or higher status. And Vecino and Gagliardini are just not there. To me, those two players are just bench players for us. They're going to be subbing in for when Brozovic and Barella need a break.
That's okay with me, because I believe that Gagliardini and Vecino are two of the better midfielders to come off the bench for 25 or 30 minutes. They're just not what you need to dictate an entire game from the start, especially in the midfield system that Luciano Spalletti was implementing. So I guess fans like myself who've been very critical of Vecino in particular over the past, we do well to give him another chance under a different system, because even through his inconsistencies, he showed a lot of heart and he came up big. Wouldn't you agree, boys?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Mario, what about you in terms of Barella, man? Are you as excited about the rest of us about Barella coming in?
Honestly, not really.
Oh, good. Tell me why.
I don't know how much you guys have actually watched him. I know some people do, and But then I got to ask you, like, what are his qualities? Okay, he covers a lot of ground. You know who else covered a lot of ground? Gary Medel covered a lot of ground. What other redeeming qualities does he really have?
His
Can he attack?
distribution's pretty good. His football
Okay,
IQ's pretty good. I've
Mm.
actually
Brozovic
watched
is the
about
same
9 to
thing.
10 games. If we're gonna sit there and analyze them and break them down, he's good at distributing the ball. He's good at intercepting the ball. He's good at breaking up passes. He's really good at looking and pushing the ball forward. His IQ is definitely there, dude. You can't sit there and deny that he doesn't have a footballing IQ, bro. Fucking
Not
Roberto
only that,
Mancini starts him.
I only
yeah,
say because
You're
I've
you're
watched
not
him in
you're not
limited.
starting you're not starting for
I've
Nazionale and a coach like Mancini unless you're a good player, bro. Especially
fair.
with the amount of midfielders that are out there right now.
mm.
All right. But at the same time, I don't know. I just feel like there's too much hype around him. Like, yeah, he's young, great, whatever. But I feel like he's one of those players like Gagliardini. 21, great, buy him, and then nothing. You
But
know?
the thing, there's a difference, dude. Barella has such a higher upside than Gagliardini. Gagliardini is a very good defensive midfielder, as in the aspect of him being a destroyer. That's pretty much what he is, bro. He's a destroyer. Barella is not just a destroyer, bro. That man can distribute the ball. Yeah, he's not a shooter. He's not gonna bang the ball out from 25 yards out or 30 yards out and shoot on goal. No, that's not who he is. But he's gonna sit there and look for those passes and pick them apart. He's also going to sit there and break up a lot of plays on counters. That's what he's there for. He does it for the national team as well. And this other kid we got, Sensi, he's good at that as well. His tackling's good. His distribution is good. His vision's really good. He's the type of player that you're going to give him a one touch and he's going to touch it right back to you and make a football move. He's already thinking 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of the next guy. That's the type of player you're getting with Sensi and Barella. Dude, these two kids, man, the Inter's heading in the right direction with getting two young Italian kids that are already thinking. They're not thinking like an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old. They're thinking that they're a 26, 27-year-old, bro. Friggin' Mancini's the type of coach that's going to help mold these kids into better players as well. Just them going and being part of the national team is exposing them to the right type of environment and players, and it's going to help keep improving their IQ. Not only are they learning from Conte, they're learning from one of the other best managers in the game, in my opinion, Mancini. So you gotta look at the higher upside as well, because Inter's not just looking at the immediate results. They're looking down the road what this kid can bring to the table. The kid has such a high football IQ, dude. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd have to say I haven't been impressed with a young player like I have with Barella for a while, but I get what Mario is saying, and I think it also comes down to stature. Like, who outside of the Serie A is noticing a player from Cagliari? Come on, boys, let's be real. The only people that know anybody from Cagliari are people who follow Serie A. So the hype and the price tag around Barella is probably looking a little bit overhyped just due to the pure stature of the club, the fact that he's playing for a team that still finished in the bottom half of the domestic league. Like, as talented as he is, it's a lot easier to recognize someone who comes out of Real Madrid, Atletico, Barcelona, even if they do jack shit all season and their price tag is inflated. I'm happy that we've identified this target very, very early because he was sought after, and that's how you can tell if an item's popular, if the shelf is empty at the supermarket when you go to pick it up. And so far, it's Chelsea, Napoli, Milan, Roma, even Juventus tried to dip their toe in it 7 months ago, and then they primarily exited straight away. So who knows? Something may have happened there where Barella just said no chance. Long story short, the guy's an Inter fan, and I'm just happy that he's coming in, to be honest. But we need to talk a little bit more about Sensi, because I feel like not many fans in the Inter world have taken to this signing as respectfully as they should have, and Christian was able to detail it pretty well. Mario, do you know much about Sensi, and do you see him playing many minutes for us or starting many games under Conte?
From what I heard, he's still a work in progress. So Christian went on this whole nice thing about him, but for Sensi, I feel like he's more of a Gagliardini 2.0 than Barella would be, because I don't know. I watched a few games of Sassuolo here and there. To me, I didn't notice anything from him. I didn't know he was on the field, or other players stand out. Him simple. Maybe he could be like a good version of Vecino. I hope for the best, but Vecino's another guy. You don't notice him on the field unless he does something bad. So from the limited knowledge I know, I just feel like he's a project and a hope that he can turn into someone with upside that could find a starting spot. But Sensi, I'm not thrilled about Barella a little more, but I'm taking it with a grain of salt once again, because once they come to Inter, anything's possible. They can go from being Ronaldo fenomeno to fucking I don't even know, Vecino.
Absolutely. Well, as long as he's got some energy coming off the bench, and he's something that Conte identified pretty early, and I'm glad we tied it down straight away, especially since Milan looked to be in advanced talks with him for a while, and then he basically just said, nope, no chance, I'm going to go play under Conte and Inter instead. One of the other official signings that have come through this week was Valentino Lazaro from Hertha Berlin. Now, this is one that I needed to touch on with you two boys, because if everyone remembers correctly, we've got the Danilo D'Ambrosio fan club on the line right now. Me personally, I've had to eat my words this season, and Danilo was a revelation. Probably showed more grinta and heart for the badge than any other player in our squad. And I'll be disappointed. I can't believe I'm saying this, Mario. You can finally smile. I'll be disappointed when he's not included in our starting 11 many times next season. But my question to you, my question to you is, what role do you see Danilo D'Ambrosio playing next season before we move into Lazaro? Because it's clear that Conte wouldn't have spent 22 million on a right wing back if that wasn't our starter.
Danilo D'Ambrosio, starting left back. If this guy Lazaro even pans out, because we spend 30 million on freaking Dalbert, and now we're sending him back to France. So the right back eater has another victim coming his way.
Let's
go, Christian.
I still have Danilo as my right back right now.
Yeah.
I have Perisic as my left back and Danilo as my right back. If Danilo is not going to play there, he's probably going to come in as a center back, if we're just being realistic.
Oh, he can play anywhere. He'll play forward if he has to.
He'll play anywhere. But the thing is this. D'Ambrosio is very solid defensively. And he's good going forward. Regardless of what people say, nobody had more assists going forward in the right back position than Danilo D'Ambrosio did last year. Look it up.
He's a freaking man, that's why.
Well, if what's been saying is true, Conte plans to use him as a makeshift centre back as well. This is I don't buy into all the Inter fans. I got to say this for a second, who they treat the formation like it's freaking gospel, like it's a 3-5-2. It's a 3-5-2. You can't put 1 foot to the left or 1 foot to the right out of line. You need to stay in that. This is a very flexible formation that Conte is going for. He's got 3 world-class centre backs with De Vrij, Godin, and Skriniar. Not to mention, João Miranda said that he loves our club and he wants to stay. And for all reasons, he's earned it. If we've got João Miranda as a backup centre back, we are set. So the flexibility of the 3-5-2 is going to be able to integrate players like D'Ambrosio and Lazaro and Asamoah and even Perisic really, really easily, in my opinion. Rivas, would you agree that the flexibility and the men that we have at the moment for Conte, it's all taking shape pretty well?
Well, see, the good thing about a 3-5-2, looking at it from a coaching standpoint, somebody that's actually used it a couple times in coaching, thing I like about 3-5-2, you can easily adjust it. And with the right personnel we have, we can easily change it in the game from 3-5-2, 3-4-3, 5-3-2, 4-4. It's just so many ways you can change it. 4-3-3. And that's the thing about a 3-5-2, especially with Conte. He knows how to adjust during the game. If he sees something not working, he's going to make his adjustments. And like you said, having Perisic, Asamoah, D'Ambrosio, these type of players that can play in different positions in the field, it can easily help us out and work to our advantage tactically. If the team thinks we're lining up in a 3-5-2, as soon as we see it's not working in the first 5 minutes, Conte's going to sit there and he's going to make a switch, and it might go into a 4-3-3 or might go into a 3-4-3. We don't know. Like, you're talking about having Perisic on the left, that he can easily go forward into his left wing spot, and boom, we're 3-4-3. Or you're talking about Danilo D'Ambrosio, who can play right back and is a solid right back. Boom, we're down to playing 4 in the back. You know what I mean? It's one of those formations that's so flexible, and with the right personnel, you don't know what you're getting with it.
Man, I'm really glad to hear someone else say it. Fantastic. Mario, what are your thoughts on the 3-5-2 and the amount of options that we have, basically? Because let's face it, depth is something that we've had a problem for so many years. And now Conte looks like he's come in, he's made some intelligent signings that can complement the depth that we needed, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the players we have available, players can play anywhere almost. You have Perisic, who can play defense, forward, midfield. Kandreva, defense, forward, midfield. D'Ambrosio can play along anywhere in the back. Skriniar, center back, defensive mid. Lautaro Martinez can play as a striker, as an attacking mid, as a second striker. Um, Asamoah can play left back, left mid, center mid. So you have players like this where they can just play all over the place. He can go from a 3-5-2 to a 1-1-8 to a freaking 4-4-2, 4-3-3 anytime he wants because he has the players at his disposal. He has the tactics. He has the plans, and he finally has the players that he wants to buy into his system. So, like I said last year when we first bought Asamoah, this is the greatest signing. He can play left back. He can play center mid. He's going to play all over the place. Spalletti used him as left back. That was it. And, it just showed that as much as I loved Spalletti, as much as he did for us,
lack of versatility.
Exactly. And that's the difference between having Spalletti and having Conte. Conte is not afraid to put Asamoah in the midfield. I'm trying to find how many games he played under Conte as a center mid because I'm sure that he did a fair amount of the time. Whatever. It's not the point right now, but still, like I could see, depending on the opponent, depending on the match, depending on how many points we need, he's not going to only play a 3-5-2. The 3-5-2 is going to become anything he wants it to be at any given moment. We could attack with 3 in the back. We could defend in 4 in the back. It just depends on what we have and what we need at the time. So under Conte, it's going to be a completely different game.
It really is. It's going to be like a real identity change under Spalletti. And I think that's where a lot of fans need to let their sentimental value we need to leave it at the door. If Conte is going to make a decision, if Marotta is going to make a decision that some of the fans don't agree with, we're just going to have to put our full trust in the project going forward. In terms of other names in the Mercato, there's a few crazy rumors going around. I wanted to talk about one in particular. Would anybody agree with me when I say that Dani Alves on a free transfer would have been a fantastic deal? Christian, you first.
I think it's a good deal, but do we really want a 36-year-old possibly stunting someone's growth?
Man, I know, man, but did you see him against Argentina? He did not look 36, G.
Yeah, I saw it. I watched the game. It's just, trust me, I like Dani Alves. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I'm looking at it. Where are you going to play him?
Yeah, that's true, man.
What position would you play him in?
Yeah.
Right wing.
We already fixed that position. Like, that was the whole point of spending 22 on Lazaro, and now we have Danilo D'Ambrosio as the makeshift replacement for that. I guess you're right, Dani Alves. It'd just be wages. It'd be wasted wages.
Yeah, in my opinion, we didn't even really talk about the guy Lazaro like we said we were.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one thing: he's gonna be another bench player. He's another victim to Danilo.
Oh, for sure, you reckon?
He's good at attacking, but defensively, he's not.
That's the whole point of playing Italy.
I've gone around and asked people that watch the Bundesliga, and they're like, he's good attacking. They're like, but his defending is shit. And I'm like, well, welcome to City A, where all we do is defend. So what are you about to do?
Ah, man, unbelievable. What about you, Mario? You'd agree, wouldn't you? You fully expect Danilo to bench this guy's ass, don't you?
Oh, 100%. If he can't defend, he's not going to play. Simply put, maybe he can play as like a right wing or something like that, like they tried with Cancelo a couple of times. But I mean, it's not really he's not gonna benefit if he can't defend. Is Conte an attacking coach? Not really. He prefers to defend first and attack second. So if this guy's at practice and he can't defend a freaking cross or he can't defend one-on-one, he's not going to play. It's very, very simple. Like everyone that we've signed he's going to bench Kandreva. He's going to he's going to bench D'Ambrosio. He's going to bench bench Asamoah left back. It's not going to happen. If you can't defend, you're not going to play. I don't care who you are. Freaking what's his name? Cancelo would have never played if we didn't have so many injuries in the back. He was fortunate.
Cancelo was benched by De Sciglio in the quarterfinals of the Champions League because Allegri knew he couldn't defend. That's That's the realism of the situation right there. So I guess it remains to be seen. I hope Lazaro can have a good start to his career at Inter because let's face it, this is a club that thrives on confidence, especially if you're one of the intricate players in the starting 11. You need to get off to a good start or else you're climbing that uphill battle of getting, the Curva Nord, the San Siro, all the fans on your side. And no one really wants that heat at Inter. It's a hard enough club to jump over the mental hurdle. So let's have a look at some of the other headlines and what we need to discuss. Yeah, sure.
Can we touch the favorite one?
What's the one, bro?
Oh, you know which one.
There's
you should be able to see my smile all the way from Sydney all the way to DC.
Okay, cool. Let's bring up our favorite ex-capitano once again. I'll start it off. This morning we've got Napoli offering 54 plus Insigne. Bruh, that makes me hard, to be honest. I didn't think we'd get anywhere near something like this. I don't believe it for a second. But for me personally, I'd be taking Insigne plus 54 million for Mauro. Before Christian and Maria go on a little bit of a rant that I know that they're going on for, I want your opinion on this headline. If you were in charge, would you be pushing 54 mil plus Insigne?
Is it 54 mil plus Insigne? Because I heard it was Insigne plus 10 mil.
Oh, damn. I've got Napoli offer 54 million plus Insigne for Inter forward Icardi. But that's only on Sports Mall in the Sun. These are two UK outlets, and they're probably books.
I heard, and I remember if it was Di Marizzo or Gazzetta, it's Insigne plus 10 mil, which I am perfectly fine with. Because I rate Insigne about 50, 60 million anyways.
Yeah.
And I personally love Insigne. And Mauro, were you there when I kept suggesting that swap?
I think I was. I think you were mentioning it.
I've been saying that for a while, that we should swap Insigne for Icardi. Give them Icardi and we take Insigne, and then now you're telling me 10 million extra on top of that? I'm a happy man.
Mm-hmm.
What can Insigne bring to an Inter side under Antonio Conte? Because we know that he can pick the ball up wide on the left. We know that he can dribble through as an attacking midfielder, but he doesn't have that physical strength to play as a striker. So you'd be hoping that if Insigne is, go on.
Sir, that is the question of the day. Who are we supposedly getting rid of again?
Mauro.
Not Icardi. Who's the other one?
That we're getting rid of, Radja.
Okay, where does Radja usually play lately? Up top as an attacking midfielder. Yes or no?
Yes, he does. So
there you go.
Where do you so you think that in a 3-5-2, Insigne can be deployed as that unofficial extra midfielder and just have the free roaming space forward?
Yep.
We can go with a 3-4-1-2 with Insigne.
Yep.
Wow. This goes back to what I was talking about 5 minutes ago about how you don't have to take a formation as gospel. You don't have to say like this player has to be here, this player has to be here. It's all flexible, subjective to the manager.
Because in a 3-4-1-2, we can have our ideal formation with Barella and Brozovic playing a little bit deeper. You got Perisic and D'Ambrosio on the wings. You still got your three rock-solid center backs. And then you have Insigne playing behind Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez, bro.
Wow. Sounds
Tell
good to
me
me.
that is not a scary formation.
I love it.
It is a good one. It is a good one. Maria, your thoughts on Insigne? You think he can integrate well? And overall, do you think there's some substance to this?
I feel like there is because Insigne has been, he's been kind of like blacklisted by Napoli the past year and a half or two. So I don't think it's completely, like complete bullshit. I could see him slotting into either the midfield, like Christian said, or if Conte wants to part ways with Perisic. I don't know the situation off the top of my head, what they're doing with that. He could play left mid, left wing, something like that. He could play as even like a ghetto striker, just kind of fill in the void if there's an injury or tired legs. So it's not it's not crazy to think there's no place for him, because obviously there's a place for him. And in this kind of squad, we want more competition, because as we've seen, players like to get very comfortable with their spots, and then once they become comfortable, they start to try less and less and demand more and more. So if he's pushing, for a Radja spot, with Sensi, Barella, and whoever else Lautaro, even if you want to just throw names out there. He's pressuring these players to perform because if they're not performing, they're not going to play, and if they're not playing, they're not going to get paid. So if he can come in, fill the void, I'm with it. If it gets Icardi out, great. If we can get 54 million, even better. If we can get 10 million, not the best, but we're getting Insigne, so I feel like that's a bigger trade-off.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. In terms of players, other players that we're looking at, I wanted to bring another player up. Inter winger Jan Karamo is looking to close a move out to Parma in the coming days. The fee is looking in between around 12.5 to 15.5 million. I was a big fan of Karamo only because he was that shining spark in the first season under Spalletti, where it looks like tactically we were absolutely numbered in terms of creativity going into the back end of the 17-18 campaign, and he ignited some form of spark. Obviously has a few disciplinary issues, was sent off to France to play for a little bit, and did impress there on the pitch. I've actually drawn a blank as to what club it was. Boys, was it Lille or Nice?
Where he was at?
Yeah, Karamo.
He was at Bordeaux.
Bordeaux, my bad. So it was at Bordeaux, and even though we had some good performances on the pitch, he had some disciplinary issues off, and we can all see how Conte and Marotta are dealing with the ill-tempered kind of players. So, Rivas, your thoughts on Karamo moving on from his Inter journey pretty much before it starts?
My thoughts on Karamo is exactly what I said on the podcast last season, that he was getting sold because we are going away from playing with wingers. So he is gone. Remember when we were having that debate about who should come back and who should go for strikers and all that? And I said Karamo's going to go because we are finally going away from playing with wingers. We don't need them no more.
Mario, your thoughts, Karamo? Yo, Mario.
Yo, my bad.
No, all good.
Karamo. I mean, he's. I don't even know where to start on him. I really don't think he has a spot in Inter anymore. We sold him for a reason, and we want to sell him again for a reason. He went to, where did he go, Bordeaux?
Yeah.
And it didn't really seem like he was making that much of an impact where it's like, all right, we need to bring this kid back. It was more of like, all right, we had him. Didn't really work out over there. He created problems, so he was like really pushing to come back to Inter. And then what? If he comes back to Inter and he's not playing, he's creating a whole thing again, why would we keep him? So I feel like from a Marotta standpoint, there's really no reason to keep him around other than because we already have him. But he seems like he could just be another problem. And I feel like Marotta wants to clean house, and he might be one of the unfortunate players that will be leaving.
He's also 100% pure attack and flair. He actually doesn't have a place in this tactical setup under Conte whatsoever. Yeah. He would be so far down the pecking order in terms of being the second striker behind Lautaro, behind Politano, behind basically anybody else that's coming in. Karamo would not get a look in. So I think we're all under the agreement that, I think we only bought him for a single-digit figure. It was about a 7 or a 9 million euro purchase. So anything that we make on top of that is plus Valenza. Edin Dzeko, it looks like Inter and Roma have reached a stalemate in the sense that Roma, due to their activity in the transfer market, don't actually need the Edin Dzeko money anymore. So they're looking to hold on to the player unless they can coop together 20 million, which I'm personally glad that we have Marotta with us because, if Marotta wasn't there, we probably would have caved like bitches to Roma and paid 20 million euro for Dzeko. But now that Marotta's here, he's very switched on. He's actually given a more realistic look. 10 million, 12 million tops, or we don't want anything to do with him. And Roma like to think they have bargaining power over us with this one, but I don't think many Inter fans are losing sleep over the 33-year-old Bosnian. Rivas, what about you?
First off, Mario, I hope you like what I sent you. Secondly, I personally don't think Dzeko's worth it. 20 mil? Nah. I'm okay. We could pass on it. And if we get Insigne, there goes to another reason why we don't need Dzeko, because now we will have another player that could play up front. So you still will have Lazaro, Poetano, Lukaku, and Insigne. That's 4.
Absolutely. Mario, your thoughts on Dzeko?
I really would have liked to have him at the right price. That's the problem. And if Roma want 20 million, I feel like they kind of want to keep him at that point. They're like, all right, we'll sell him to you, but you need to pay an absurd amount, or you can take a hike. And they feel like Inter's trying to lower that fee as much as they can, 10, 7, whatever they can. Here's another player, take him, take that. But it just doesn't seem like it's in the cards. And if we could get him under 10 million, whatever, fine. He's a good striker for another year or two. You bring him, he's going to score goals, he's going to create chances, he's going to teach Lautaro and whoever else comes in. But for 20 million, it's best if we just stay away.
Yeah, absolutely. As a special little ending to this particular casual podcast, I've got the president of Icardi FC, Mauro, here with me, who's got a little bit and his vice president, Mr. Rivas, here. They've got a little bit to go through in terms of the fantastic, beautiful timeline of our decorated ex-capitano. So, Mauro, can you start off by telling us how much he loves Inter and how he's loved Inter? So,
wait. We got to introduce this. We got to introduce this properly.
How about this? I'm fully handing over autonomy over to Rivas for this section of the podcast, man.
Okay. We want to bring to you guys a closure to the illustrious career of Mauro Icardi, a.k.a. Kovacic.
This is dictated but not read. I began in February 2014 with Pino Letterio, who was part of Icardi's representation at the time, was seen in a video tearing up a picture of Diego Milito saying, "Enough Il Principe, now we want Icardi."
The heartbreak was real with that.
Yeah, the guy wins us a Champions League, a treble, and you're going to say, all right, rip him in half because this fucking idiot's coming through. February 2015, after scoring 2 goals against Palermo, the best team in Italy ever, his team instructed him not, capital N-O-T, to celebrate because at the time there were issues with his contract. He celebrated. July 2016, again, same issues with contract. Icardi did not play during American Summer Tour, justifying his absence. Yes. Justifying his absence with an alleged shoulder injury, the first time that we know of that he faked an injury to get what he wanted. August 2016, Icardi and Wanda Nara were in public negotiation to join Napoli.
Did you hear that? The bombshell in the background?
Oh, I'm listening. No, that was me dropping my tea, actually, man. I'm just sipping it.
Exactly. He dropped his tea because they were negotiating Monopoly.
This is the guy that never wants to leave Inter. He loves Inter. He's the captain of Inter. You can do no wrong because he scores a couple goals here for only half the season. October 2016, the next one in the contract. Icardi's autobiography came out, which infuriated Curva Nord with phrases like, "I'm ready to face them one by one. They don't know where I grew up. I'll bring 100 criminals from Argentina who will kill them." I end quotations there.
Ooh.
Okay. So, he still loves Inter, loves the fans.
Man, hold on. Before we go to the next one, I could get one white kid from Mario's neighborhood, and he'll probably shoot up that whole neighborhood. You know how white kids are crazy, right?
Yeah, just send him to the nearest public school. All right, here we go.
Continue on.
May 2018. This is where it starts to get juicy, I think. Wanda said that with just a lift of a finger, Icardi can get players out of this club, but he's not doing it because he's humble. Humble.
The humbleness is strong in this one.
Humble. He freaking wrote an autobiography. Humble. Okay.
Humble.
February. Let's
Humble,
keep going.
Texas.
Oh my God. February 2019. Now we're, this year. This is 4 months ago. I can't even count anymore.
What are we in July? 5 months ago.
Yes, thank you. After
You're
removing
welcome.
the captain's armband, Icardi refused the call-up to play against Rapid Vienna. Spalletti says, in quotations, he was called up, but he's not coming. Very straightforward. Loves Inter.
That man has Inter tatted on his chest next to that line.
There we go. February 2019 again. Icardi removed himself out of the team, claiming to have a knee problem. Okay, fair enough. So what do? February again. Inter gave him a medical exam, which revealed that there was no, capital no, N-O, new injury, and his knee condition was the same at the start of the season, which seemed fine to me. I mean, he was able to play and walk and, bullshit his way around. Okay. Next one. March. With a decimated squad due to suspensions and real injuries and UEFA, FFP, Inter were forced to play with Esposito and Marotta. Both.
Esposito, pendejo.
Is he Italian or is he Spanish?
He's Spanish.
Okay, Esposito.
He
Both
just claims
were.
he's Italian. That's it.
Oh, so it's Esposito now.
No, it's Esposito, but he claims he's Italian. So it's still Esposito because he's still a beaner.
So it's Esposito. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, that's like me claiming I'm a fucking wetback.
So he basically had to play with two Primavera players in the Europa League because, Icardi's refusing to play because he loves Inter so much that he doesn't want to play. March again. Icardi and Wanda hired Nicoletti, a lawyer, to negotiate his return. They love Inter, by the way. You just have to say he never wants to leave. He loves Inter.
Yeah, he loves Inter so much he got a lawyer.
Yeah. After the derby victory, Icardi did not come to the dressing room to celebrate the big win with his teammates. Spalletti quotes, Icardi, ? Those that were in the dressing room did very well. There you have it. He was not there. Have it. Last one. March 2019 again. Nicoletti. After the decision of Spalletti not to call up Icardi for the game against... Hold up. This is poorly written. After the decision of Spalletti not to call Icardi up for the game against himself, said that he was surprised... Oh, okay. Himself said that he was surprised by the action and complained that he wasn't told beforehand. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
So in other words, what he was saying was that Spalletti didn't call him up after the negotiations were done, and it was already stated that Icardi was going to return to the squad. That week he was supposed to return to the squad. Icardi was not called up to the squad by Spalletti. Remember, everybody said, "Oh, why is Spalletti going against what the lawyer said?"
Oh yeah, because you're freaking gangster. That's why.
Yeah.
I think it was Bergomi who came out a couple of weeks ago and said, "Oh, Icardi ? You need a lawyer present to represent Inter." That's not a good look, and I'd have to agree with that. Look, man, I'm on board, and I think a lot of the fans are starting to see the truth for what it really, really is. There is absolutely no way a fully grown adult who's the former captain of a big club like this would continue to submit all his autonomy and all his authority the way that he has at the moment. It's beyond an absolute joke, and I really, really hope that we close this fucking deal out ASAP, get him out, get somebody else in, and actually start a preseason camp under Conte properly, because every day lost in that preseason camp is not good, in my opinion.
100%.
I just want him gone so I can laugh.
Me too. I can't wait. Every day it's better and better knowing that we don't want him.
I'm gonna dig up those old videos of 6-7 months ago when the captaincy was stripped, and I don't even think I had to ask you guys. You guys sent through voluntary vids. That's how I knew the news was real. I'm like, oh shit, the boys are excited for sure.
Oh yeah, it only gets better.
We'll have to see what happens. In terms of this week's podcast, that's where we're going to draw it at today. Don't worry, We'll be back with plenty of content soon throughout the week because it's Pazza Inter on and off the pitch at the moment. Any final thoughts from the Christian realist Rivas, man, before we head off?
Don't we report this week too? If I'm not mistaken, don't the players report back this week?
Dude, I'm pretty sure
it's tomorrow.
They report in like 2 days, tomorrow or 2 days. July 8th.
I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah, they report back on my birthday, man. July 8th. I know this for a fact.
Tomorrow
shit,
when?
it's your
Because,
birthday.
Anthony's like 3 days ahead of us.
Yeah, he's living in the future.
You know it, man. Hey, man.
Wait. One last thing. If it's Anthony's birthday, Mario, we gotta sing him happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
You can't
All
do
right. 1, 2, 3. Damn, Mario, I thought you were gonna do it.
Disappointed.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anthony. Happy birthday.
Yeah, sing him.
Too nice. I really appreciate it. Guys, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time on the Inter Worldwide podcast. From myself, Christian, and Mario, ciao ragazzi, forza Inter.
Mario's gonna send you nudes.
Got you.
I got to press stop right now before this gets too harsh.